click the X at the top.
Up here?
Yep.
Great. Yes, and I have the X and then you can make a motion and the other one. Second.
It's just that X at the bottom there. In the bottom right corner, that X.
We'll end it.
Yep, that's it. So it'll say end for all. You click that.
Okay, so we're.
You're good. You're live. Yep.
Okay.
We have enough for one.
We need 3.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So the first order here, number 3, is the amendments to the agenda. Is that talking about that we had to switch the meeting from November to December?
No, that's this agenda. And there's no amendments.
No amendments. We can get a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And motion passed. I 3-0. Approval of the minutes. Has everybody got to look over the minutes from May? All right, if everything is in order, if we could have a motion for approval of the minutes.
I'd like to make that motion.
Thank you, Monica. And I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Okay, passed. So our new business. To which page? The folded one? Sorry, I'm getting organized here.
You want to read the notice that was given?
Office of Planning Commission and Code Compliance for the City of Knox. Notice is hereby given that there will be a public hearing at the Knox City Hall on Monday. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
December. No, we're
Yeah,
gonna leave that
it was originally that. But
for November
rescheduled.
17th, rescheduled to December 15th at 6 o'clock Central Time, located at 101 West Washington Street in Knox, Stark County, Indiana. The purpose of the hearing is to allow a sign or billboard larger than the ordinance number 971A will allow on 3 aspects. The property is zoned C2, general commercial, located Gold's Lot 24, commonly known as 1210 South Heaton Street, Knox, Stark County, Indiana. The state parcel number is 75-06-26-101-062.00-400. 004, I apologize. The property is owned by James and Beth Sheets. Thank you to Lonnie. You have the,
Would open the hearing with this, and as most of you know, you've probably been down there, seen the size, read the ordinances, and just like what the notice said, the size is an issue, post size is an issue, and I was not able to sign that permit. And so now we have a hearing on that to see if the board will approve.
so we'll open this public hearing up for comments. Have somebody here that wants to speak on behalf. Go ahead. And your name?
My name's Chris. Good evening. Here on behalf of some locations. Obviously, we applied for a variance for 2 billboard structures within the county. We're well aware that variances are not a way to bypass the rules, but a way to furthermore adhere to the rule, or not adhere to the rules, but where strict application of the variance or of the code doesn't apply for individual situations at properties. So on one of them, I forgot the address of it, my apologies. It's the smoke shop on the main street where we asked for a height variance. In that instance, we do need to be tall enough to be visible over the building. So the sign can serve its purpose in advertising local businesses and whatnot and be seen from both sides of the road as opposed to being too low and being blocked. And then at that point, it's obviously not helping anybody. And then the other property we're asking for is similar situation. We're asking for the height variance because there's a big on-premise sign and it'll kind of cut right in the middle of the sign and halfway defeat the purpose of the sign to, again, advertise what we're doing. So what we, jump in, what we do is we build the structures ourselves, obviously, and then our sales team sells the advertisements to 90% local businesses, drive traffic to the town, the businesses going on around here, bring up tax dollars and all that kinds of stuff, bring revenue to the city. We're in 25 states across the United States, and we specialize in small towns. We were born and bred out of a small town in Ohio and help small businesses there, and it's just expanded. So we don't advertise drugs, alcohol, tobacco, any adult material, anything pornographic, immoral, gambling, or anything like that. Like I said, it's just family-friendly local business. And the variances, like I said, we're asking for the height, and then one of them was for size, just because the square footage would be too small for a billboard to serve its purpose and would actually become dangerous for the public if we were advertising something on like 80 square feet. Be off the road, they'd be squinting, be hard to see. It would be a distraction actually off the side of the road for them trying to see it. But if it's bigger, easier to read, glance at it like you do any other billboard, read what you're doing and be on your way.
Is it my understanding that a digital sign?
No.
Okay, just the way you said that you sell it to local businesses, I got confused there.
And did you say that this was, you're requesting a height variance only?
One of them is a height and size variance, and one of them is a height only variance. We're seeking an 8-foot height variance on one of them, and then I wrote it down. And then I think like 150 square feet variance so we can have an 8 by 20. And then a few feet on that one as well. I wrote it down. I apologize. Yeah, we're seeking 8-foot height variance on one of them and then a 6-foot height variance on the other and 157 square foot variance. So both sides can be bigger and easier to read.
You all aware of how the ordinance reads?
No, would you mind? I mean, I did read it, but I read it
Yeah,
in the.
so says the gross surface area in square feet of all marketing signs on a lot shall not exceed 2.5 times the linear feet of frontage of the lot. Says here where signs has 2 or more faces, the area of all the faces shall be included in determining the area of the sign.
So basically it's height and width,
Yes.
sign.
And that property is 65.82
And you're
linear
talking
feet.
about the one that's right there at the stoplight, basically by the root beer stand.
Yeah, this one's the one that's inside the city limits.
Okay, and that's the sign that they're asking for is what in square feet?
160 square feet per side, so 320.
And according to our ordinance, both sides,
Be a total of 164.55 square feet total.
is what we could allow.
Yes.
And how big are they asking for? You said that was according to the drawing that I saw. Let me look at my notes
What
here.
you're allowing in total is essentially what we're asking for per side.
So you want double?
One, yeah, so, yep, single steel pole structure, 1 ad per side for both sides of traffic to going
So
out of town to see an ad.
Lonnie, this isn't even close to our ordinance, right?
Yeah, it's double.
Number one, the smoke shop is located at basically at a stoplight. How is that not seen, even if it didn't have a sign out there? And they've got a sign across the front of the building. And I think they also have another one right now, don't they? That's facing. So you'd be, the one that they have right now is facing north and south. Plus, they've got the one facing west on the front of the building.
Mhm.
I mean, you can see the direction that I'm going with this on this first location is that it's huge of what you're asking for. I mean, if this is twice the size at a stoplight, how do people not see that facility in the current situation that it's in right now, is my question to myself.
Okay. Question, same thing.
Oh, we're not advertising the smoke shop if that's what you're thinking? We're not advertising for the smoke shop.
That
We build,
my question.
yeah, we build the structure and we sell the advertising spaces to other local businesses in the town. And then the revenue from that goes, a portion of it goes to the landowner, but we're not putting up smoke ads or anything like that. Like I said, in our lease agreement, we have built-in restrictions for what we're going to advertise, and we will never advertise or condone the usage of drugs, alcohol, tobacco, any adult material, pornographic, any of the adult stores.
I understand what you're saying there, but basically it's gonna be like a billboard.
That's what it is. Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what it is that like the one over here, it's got paper or whatever that you use now to go ahead
Final.
and change it according to whoever client you have that month.
So
Or,
our contracts are yearly, so we won't be switching it around month to month. When we put something up, it'll be around for at least a year.
well, yeah, but I mean, it's basically the same thing. I mean, you're gonna offer it to a variety of clients that wanna buy that space.
Let me ask you this, Chris, now, so you're not putting up smoke shop signs?
No, sir. No,
Your billboard would be similar to 35 and Total Road? Maybe not as big?
correct.
And you're gonna do this on both smoke shop properties?
Yes, but we're not advertising the smoke shop.
Ooh. That even makes it stranger to me.
Now, I do have some property on 35 that, if you're doing this, but I mean, that looks like an awful big structure there by B&K now, but whatever.
So you're telling me the smoke shop can't buy that advertising from you?
Nope. It's built into our lease that we will not put up smoke shops. We won't.
And
put
their
up-
sign would stand,
What was that?
and their sign would still be there.
Their current sign?
Yeah.
That says smoke shop, or, yeah, that would stay there. That's his business sign. We have no business taking that down or doing anything with it. He has signed a lease for us to lease out 20-inch diameter for the pole. And that's the only thing that we're dealing with. The rest of his property is his, the rest of the signage is his. We're not doing anything with that. But he'll still have his smoke shop sign. It won't be,
Lonnie, is this on the smoke shop property?
Yes, and I didn't realize I thought it was a sign for the smoke shop.
So
So this is
So-
a billboard that they want to put in town.
for anybody, for any local businesses.
Yeah,
At a stoplight where people are already needing to pay attention to the traffic and the stoplight and.
I mean, in small towns with low speed limits and stuff like that, there's 10 other things that are more distracting than a billboard. People eating in their car, touching the radio, looking at their phones, all those kinds of things are gonna hold them up and be more dangerous than a billboard on the side of the
What
road.
about people pulling in and out?
Of the property?
Yeah.
What about
That
them?
was my question, because that's a tight spot right there.
Yeah, it's a
anyway.
very tight spot.
I mean, the pole's on, the pole's not.
Yeah, but where it's located, if you actually put into, quote, go to park at the smoke shop and then go to back out without being super careful that I don't even know why they have parking spaces there. I mean, I drive a medium-sized SUV, and in the summertime that I pulled in there to get a cigar, I damn near hit that post that their sign is sitting on. That,
The one on front,
part of it.
the one on front.
Yeah, the one that's over there by the sidewalk. I mean, it's right off of the sidewalk into their parking area. And there's parking spots that are right in front of that butt up to the front of the building.
Just said that.
I hear you. I mean,
This is a huge sign, sir.
Okay.
That's all I can say for that small area.
Area.
And I
Nor
mean, it's not
display
even
more
close to
than the
what,
name of the
to what our
location of the
ordinance
shopping
says.
center. This-
I mean, if there was, if we were even a little bit close, but we are, I mean, we're,
Read, number 8
in the ordinance.
in the ordinance. It's just underneath where it shows the picture of the sign.
Because we were all in, amongst the same idea that we thought that it was a sign for the smoke shop.
Yeah.
So we didn't bother to.
Let me fix your building. Is that the one that you're talking about?
In the unified shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that line number 8.
So that would be a whole other variance that they would be asking. Or they would ask for size and then they would also have to ask for a variance for.
Yeah, there it says, area nor display more than the name on the location of the shopping center. Yeah, and according to line number 10, after that, the Board of Zoning Appeals is hereby granted the authority to grant the variance from the setback and size diameters.
Lonnie, you tell me, does this even meet the setbacks?
It did make the setbacks from the state road, but then with the
It doesn't meet all the setbacks that's in the ordinance.
and the biggest one is advertising for a different location other than in the shopping center itself. On line 8.
And are we even able? By this?
I don't see how you'd be able.
Or, yeah.
And the attorney wasn't able to make it, but I don't.
So after number 8, if you'll look at 10,
Yeah. I
doesn't
mean,
give us.
yeah. I'm going through my mind, I'm looking at that area right there, okay, because I travel that a lot. On both sides, stopping at that, just coming down the road and looking at a sign that big in that area aesthetically, to me, my personal feeling, aesthetically, it's just too damn big. And the fact that it meets almost nada of the criteria that this ordinance, you know, that was written in what, 98? I mean, there was a reason why we wrote this ordinance and tried to control the signage down there. I just had some real issues with them.
Carly, did you have anything to?
Well, as you know, we own the Zippy Mart, so I thought it had to do with the smoke shop. But even if you give that variance, I guess if you give it to him, now I'm gonna be back for one too, because I own just north of Country Kettle, you know, that 210 foot of highway frontage. I think it get a little cluttery, but I don't wanna beat this guy up on his business. It's just, like you say, if you're gonna be giving them or the okays, I'm gonna be here too.
I was gonna ask.
Plus, I
Wait,
got
does that open
property
up?
just a little bit south, you know, which is way north of the other smoke shop. The old Chuck's Auto Store where Studio 35 is, so.
This record part of it. Last year, we went through this, Dwayne Carlson was wanting to put one on his lot up in the corner of Heaton and Carlson. And it was denied at that point.
Where was that gonna go on that grassy area that was just north of, on the north side of Carlson?
Yes. And they were wanting to put one there, and then it was with the same company. I printed the emails off of it. It wouldn't be allowed, so Dwayne let it go. And then this letter here states that he does not have no objections to having that billboard. Because I'm sure he still wants to have that one on his property.
That's right, okay. Do we have any other, anyone else that sent a letter or a?
Not on the 1310 Heaton or
Okay.
the 12.
The way, how is this thing gonna be lit? Is this gonna have?
It won't have lights on it. It will not be illuminated.
It what?
It will not be illuminated.
So it's only good during the day?
Right. I mean, in everything but the winter months, you're seeing it till 7, 8 o'clock. In winter, obviously, you lose some of your daylight, but at the end of the day, where you're not getting light pollution, it's not becoming distracting at nighttime, you know. This late.
Well, I mean, this is basically a block and a half that it was turned down before, and now we got a different property owner that they're dealing with. If we turn, you know, if the previous board turned it down.
Well, the last time it did make it past my office to go to the board.
So the paperwork and the whatever to apply for a variance was. Huh. I've asked all my questions.
Close to the public hearing?
Does anybody else have any questions, concerns, thoughts? Okay, you can
Okay.
close it and then.
Close, I'm sorry?
Where was the sign, the one in town going? Is it going in the parking lot of the smoke shop? In
It's
that
going,
pavement?
we're proposing it right at the front left corner of the building. So it'll be right buttoned
Left
up.
if I'm looking at it? Or
You're looking at the property from the road, the front left corner, parallel with the building.
Almost
With the front.
By being, so by being K, if you're pulling out that first spot, like, you got it.
So it's taken up,
Will be where it's at. And then what about the one south of town? Where's that one? In the smoke shop, that grass area by?
Yeah, right at the edge of the parking lot and where the grass area is.
Well,
the parking
I'm
space.
confused about this one right now.
You too.
Because I'm trying
Let's
to,
talk
now I'm
separately.
trying to think about the other one, on what property is that gonna go on?
Yeah, we've.
Yeah, that's the
Separately.
next hearing.
That's a whole separate thing, so let's.
So that sign will be taking up one parking space.
The first one there by B and K.
Pardon me?
Basically, I said this sign would be, Lonnie said, would take up one parking space. So basically that first one, if you were pulling to B and K on the smoke shop side, that first parking spot would be gone for them
And
basically.
then for their occupancy,
Yeah.
getting rid of a parking space.
People would be. wrestling with this too, because it's gonna take away from their parking, their safe parking
Yeah.
for their customers, which
Basically have none on in the first place.
Yeah, and with the square footage of that building, I don't see how they can get rid of another parking space, because right now they're legal non-conforming with not having enough parking spaces. You take one away, I don't see how that business would be able to stay operational.
And we don't want that. So, if there's no more discussion, we'll close the public hearing and then we decide.
So you can ask if there's any more.
Yeah. I get that on the corner. Right, I know what you're saying.
Are there any more questions or comments? In regard to the property in question? Okay, so for the 1210 South Heaton Street, we'll close the public hearing for that. Give us just a second. Solana can't vote,
are
so we need to discuss.
you looking for a second on that?
No, I mean,
Oh.
Just, it's open discussion between you three.
What? Are you gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
so he'd like to, can you
What
state
is
what's
the
your
motion?
motion? What's your motion?
To not grant,
Cannot grant.
the variance.
Okay, motion was made to not grant the variance for the 1210 South Heaton Street property. Motion was made by Monica and Earl has seconded the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Any opposed, same sign? Okay. So,
On it. Is there a size or height outside of the current rules that would be okay with the board? Right now, I think it's about 82 feet per side.
well, that was a concern, but then the other concern is that, currently the way that it is written, there isn't allowed to be a sign for advertising
Other than the business.
other than the business itself that's advertising, so that we didn't bring that up because we didn't realize that it wasn't for the smoke shop. We thought this whole time that it was for the smoke shop. That's another issue in itself that we didn't request a variance on hearing. So with that, the variance for 1210 South Heaton Street has been denied. Okay, and we'll move on to, let me just get this second one open. You have that one closed to that paper fast. Notice was hereby given that there be a public hearing at the Knox City Hall on Monday, November 17th, which was changed to Monday, December 15th. At 6 o'clock Central Time, located at 101 West Washington Street in Stark County, Indiana. The purpose of the hearing is to allow a sign or billboard larger than the ordinance number 97 or 971A will allow on 3 spots. The property is zone C2, general commercial, located at Gold's Lot 24, commonly known as 2484 South US 35, Stark County, Indiana, parcel number 7506 35 100-019.000-003. The property is owned by James and Beth Sheets. With that, will Lonnie give his findings?
That was the same thing with the one singular post that's 20 inches in diameter, where ordinance states no more than 8 inches. So that was one factor. The other obviously is higher than permitted. That property is 260 feet of road frontage. So that road frontage there could support that size, just not the height and the circumference of the single post. And with that, I did have somebody come in that lives across the street with the written thing for the one that was in the 2 mile jurisdiction that he does not approve.
So we'll open the public hearing at 6:30 for comment. Sorry, go ahead again.
Yeah. Yeah, this one where, like you said, we are within the size limits, square footage wise, due to the frontage that this property has. But the current on-premise sign is where we're seeking relief in the height from, so we can be taller than it. So the advertisement can be seen without the on-premise sign cutting into it and basically rendering our ads nowhere near as valuable to us or the landowner or the people buying it. And I did not know about the 8 to 20 inch circumference. My question about that is if they are permitted, or not permitted, but a property allowed to have a sign that big, an 8 inch pole wouldn't support any sign that big, but they're allowed. So I feel like those two are not mutually exclusive within the ordinance. That's why we're obviously seeking relief for that to support the size that we're allowed, but the pole needs to be bigger to be safe.
Again, does the last part of that ordinance come into play again for us here?
Yes.
What was that, Lonnie? I mean, is this sign meeting the requirements in size?
In size, yes, but not in the square footage size of the sign, but not the height.
And what is the additional?
What is the height have to
Let's
be?
see.
We were seeking an 8 foot height variance.
Calculator out here real quick.
Now, is this thing gonna have lights on it?
I'm sorry,
None of your signage on the billboards have lights on it.
basically only on the interstates.
Pardon me?
I said basically only on interstates.
So with the road frontage, if you're going square footage of the sign by itself, would be a total of 650 square foot, which would be 325 square foot per side. And what was the size of the billboard?
The same thing, isn't it? Is
This
it
one, we were requesting 288 per side. So we were well.
is this gonna be a one-sided or two-sided also?
So it's 567 square feet total, right?
576. Right? Did we say 67?
Yeah.
If I got the math wrong, 288 times 2. 576.
Lonnie, does that fit? Both sides fit into
The square footage, yes, that fits into the
okay,
size.
for that one out there, but the problem that he's got there is the height.
Is the height and the pole size.
Incorrect here, because they're asking, here's 567 and it's 576.
I mean, the pole size is easy to fix.
Mhm.
The drawings just call for something, and we say that it's gotta be something else.
How far off of the right of way is the signpost?
See, is that on the drawing here?
The front edge of the sign, or the front edge of the sign will be 18 feet off of the right of way. So then the pole will be 12 feet behind that. So the pole will be 30 feet off the right of way. The nearest edge of the sign will be 18.
We do have two different things. For a structure, according to ordinance, is 75 feet off of the highway right away for state highways. The,
Okay, let me stop you right there. How far are they off to be conducive with the highway?
they were just saying it was gonna be 30 feet off of the pole, be 30 feet off the right of way.
And what did you just say was to meet the state?
For
highway?
a structure to be built on the highway has to be 75 feet off of the road. But as you know, that wasn't the case even when they widened 35. A lot of those stores are much closer than that. For the residential neighborhood, for intersections and for visibility wise, is 35 feet off of the property line. That's essentially so a car can pull up to a stop sign and not have an obstructed view from a structure looking either way.
The other thing I want to be careful of is, from this board standpoint, is that we don't go ahead and allow something that the state's gonna have problems with. I've got to be convinced of that.
Yeah,
With the
anything from the
current-
state?
What was that?
Do you have anything from the state for their state setbacks?
There's setbacks, no,
I believe we haven't been able to apply for the state because they request the local permit first before we apply for the state permit.
You say you haven't gotten anything back yet, though?
We haven't applied yet. They request the local permit for them to consider the state permit.
You said there were two things. You only listed the first thing.
The one was the setback from the road, the state being 75. The other one was if you allowed residential setbacks just for visibility coming out on the highway,
Right.
that's where the 35
It's
foot
a little
minimum,
bit different here because the sign's gonna be above. It's not gonna block.
Yeah.
the view.
just the 20-inch pier coming up.
And so if I'm understanding correctly, okay, what I see with this site is that the problem that they have, number one, is the size of the actual pole that the site doesn't meet our criteria,
Exactly.
but that could be easily fixed. I mean, from their standpoint, they need a bigger pole, they put a bigger pole, Number two is,
They want a smaller pole.
pardon me?
We require a smaller pole.
Oh, we require a smaller pole? Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Well,
Yeah.
then you're fine on that. Then that's not an issue.
We're requesting larger pole.
They're asking
Yeah.
a larger pole because they're signing it.
That's your real estate
Yeah.
villages.
Okay, so number two, then really what we're dealing with is they meet the distance meets the overall size of the sign. That we can allow that. But then comes into play, what do we do? Where does our decision come in that if they don't, if they apply to the highway and the highway says, no, you can't do it, and then they go and they say, well, wait a minute, the city of Knox says that it's fine.
Yeah, the only things that play into this is the overall height
Yeah.
that they're requesting and the size of the monopole holding the sign up.
Is the overall height the problem? What's the difference in height that we're talking about? You're looking at, you want 20 foot from the ground is where you want the bottom of the sign to be?
Yes, we were seeking an extra 6 feet.
And we're saying that it's gotta be 12 foot, if I remember
A
that.
minimum of 12 foot,
Well, what's the maximum?
24.
Well, then really they fall into that. If they're at 20 foot. Is that the bottom or is that the top, overall top of the sign?
At the top, you're asking for 30 instead of 24 in height.
Yeah. If the overall height is 24, we don't meet it with what we're currently asking.
Yeah, so that's, that would have to come down to 32 or to. What size, I'm
24.
looking at this, is this 30? Is the overall top of the sign requirement?
That's what they're asking for. Is
Oh,
30
that's what
foot.
you're asking. And so. I gotta get my head out of mine. Gotta go back to our ordinance and look at that.
What do you do about time?
So-
But we cited as the first one. That advertised for a different business.
Yeah, where it said here, you know, in the application that it was zoned for the smoke shop, mini shop mart and then smoke shop. It was under the understanding that it was for them,
Right.
for that business.
So that still doesn't, even if we can allow the other two, we still can't make a decision based on 10.
Let's see. Just seeing if I
If I'm
see
reading that
anything
right,
else.
we can have a maximum of 12 feet from the grid to the bottom of the sign,
Yes.
which means that if it's a maximum of 24 feet. I'm really not trying to make this any harder than what it is. Okay, so according to our ordinance, they are going to be 6 foot
Is that a single owner?
higher to the
That one
top
spot right there?
than what,
That is single owner?
than what we allow. And at the bottom,
She saw just followed me.
That's what I thought.
they're
too.
22 foot.
They still need to have in there that it's advertisement for somebody else.
Other than that business.
Other-
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Now, is it doesn't belong to quote the smoke shop out there.
Mm-mm.
So now they're gonna be selling that space.
Right, and so we don't have that.
Yeah, so that's the other part that they don't meet. They don't meet the height, overall height requirement or the overall lowest part requirement. Plus,
Number
they don't
18
meet the fact that it's not for the smoke shop.
Even if we granted variance for the size and the height, it still,
Right.
that still leaves us. I mean, it keeps us from being able to.
And we don't know what the state would even say about it. Am I correct on that?
Mhm.
Hypothetically, if the local was approved and we applied for the state and they didn't approve it, we would just scrap the lease. We wouldn't come back and fight you guys or the state. If basically what they say goes. If they say it's not okay, even though if you said it's okay and they don't, we can't move forward with it.
Is there another billboard sign similar to this that's on closer to Total Road?
It's on the opposite side, right after you sable it.
Who's
the
that, what is that one? Is
But
it the
that-
insurance?
I think it's the entrance.
That's outside of the 2 mile jurisdiction. The
Yeah,
2 mile
that's what I'm saying.
jurisdiction goes to,
It's already out there. There's one out there. If you're on the other side of the road.
No.
If you were on the other side of this road, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right?
exactly, exactly.
He's like, well, there's an idea.
If it was on if it was south of 300, which is Total Road, is the border of our 2 mile jurisdiction for the city.
It's truck up property out there, you could.
Yeah, I mean. I'm not making light of it. It's just. It's a quarter of a mile or whatever. And still accomplish the same thing that these guys, that their business is.
Yeah, that one over there is ours.
Yeah, and I don't know, obviously, what the county sign ordinances
Yeah.
are, even if they have some.
That's not my problem.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Anybody have any further questions or comments?
I don't have any more now.
So
I
then,
got one question, Lonnie, you're part of this stuff. So if you have enough highway frontage, it changes the size.
Sign you can put up.
Yes.
See,
Yeah, for every foot of road frontage, you can have 2.5 square feet of sign size.
And that counts both sides of each side.
That's both sides combined.
So 100-foot property would be, big foot.
250 square foot, so 125 square foot on each side.
okay, if no other questions or comments, we'll close the public hearing part of this at 6:45. And then leaves us to,
I think I'll make the motion that we have to deny this. This doesn't meet any of our criteria.
I'll second that motion.
okay, all in favor? Aye. Um, sorry,
You go ahead.
then that motion to deny the variance fortunately passes. And that's what I got. That closes the public hearing. Yep, go ahead.
so it has to within the jurisdiction, billboards essentially are prohibited because you can't advertise besides for a business that's on that property. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yeah, for the business itself can have one sign on the property. If they have a corner lot, they can have two signs. But being, that's already has a sign on it that cuts out the,
So you can't have, I'm just clarifying, just for my own knowledge, you can't have signs on a property.
That aren't for that property.
Aren't for that property.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And I hope you understand, I mean, when you're dealing within the city limits, these rules were set up for a reason, as far as, and a lot of it had to do with aesthetics and also traffic. Visibilities that when people pull up to an intersection, they can look left or right and make sure that they've got clear visibility. And I understand the business that you guys are in, and I respect it completely. And billboards, it just seemed throughout the nation have been outside of towns with smaller signs, inside reinforced. You see the big sign outside that says we got a McDonald's, but when you get into town, it's pretty easy to see the golden arches. So it kind of gives them a heads up that they are here.
So with that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:47.